So right now we're a totally Belgian company, but we're working on European expansion. So looking at countries like the UK, Netherlands, Germany, France, next up. So, but right now, in terms of banking, we're the market leader in Belgium. We're growing very fast in private equity. So we work with every big banking name that there is in Belgium. Can't mention them all on here contractually, but if you know them, we probably serve them. Yeah, some leading private equity funds starting to break into the Dutch market because there's demand there for Belgian data as well.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Grow IT podcast. One of your hosts here, Trey King. And today we're very excited to have our guest, Yonah from OpenTheBox. And as you guys know, this podcast is where thought leaders come to talk about their niche expertise. So today we'll be diving into his story a bit, as well as what his company does. So make sure to stick around for this one. But without further ado, Yonah, welcome. Thanks for hopping on, man.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Yonah, if you don't mind, if we can kick things off, if you could, just introduce yourself and, provide us a bit around your background.
Yeah. So I'm Jona. I'm the CRO, Chief Revenue Officer at OpenTheBox. OpenTheBox provides financial data on private market companies for banks, private equity, and M&A firms. We also serve some B2B companies that have more strategic sales and want to vet their customers. So I'm in charge for marketing, sales, and customer success at OpenTheBox. My KPI is just ARR, very broad. I come from more of a marketing background, but I've also been selling always, even as a consultant at a boutique growth marketing firm. I was selling projects, executing them, selling projects that I wouldn't execute as well, some that others would execute. And especially from that growth marketing perspective, I came very close to sales, so executing a lot of cold outreach campaigns, multi-touch cold outreach campaigns, running ads, then following them up with cold outreach campaigns. So what then later on became more known as a sort of advanced SDR role, or today people call the GTM engineer. I did a lot of that and realized that I really loved the B2B space, where you interact with sales and customer success a lot and really have that whole trifecta, let's call it that, and decided that that was what I wanted to grow in. I became a head of growth at a few startups, and now transitioned into this role at OpenTheBox.
Excellent. That's quite a colorful background, man.
Thanks.
Tell me, Yonah, given your industry, what's are like what's the current trends, current market trends out there? What ways are the winds blowing these days? What do you be picking up?
Well, the biggest thing is in startups and scale-ups in tech, is the era of blitz scaling, and especially the zero interest rate policy that we had in the years past up until like 21, 22, is over. So you have to be efficient. So we call it capital efficient growth, or profitable efficient growth, meaning that you have to do things a lot smarter. You can't just throw more salespeople at it. You can't just throw more customer success agents at it. You have to really look for the source of the problem or the source of the challenge that you're trying to overcome, so that you can achieve your revenue targets, because basically you're going to have to do it with less money. I think being in Europe, it applies a bit less to us because we've always had less money than American companies. Um, but I mean, on average, the same thing still goes. So you have to be efficient. You have to understand profit and loss. You can't just throw money at a problem and then only years later decide how you're going to turn that profitable instead of a loss leader. You can't just get thousands of customers and then wonder how you're going to get profitable uh, based on those thousands of customers. You have to acquire them efficiently.
Yeah, it's a good point you're making there, man. Tell me, I think this is maybe a good time, maybe elaborate a bit more on what is it specifically, what you guys do at the company.
So what we do is we aggregate data that we find from publicly available sources on companies and the entrepreneurs behind them. We scrape the data from the sources, we structure it, and then put it through our AI and machine learning models to provide easily digestible data to people in the professions that we serve, so that rather than having to crunch all the data themselves, they get insights as quickly as possible. So we help private equity funds source deals. Sorry, I just lost the light in here. So we help private equity funds source deals. We help bankers serve their customers with better advice, sell them the right banking products, and all of those things. Basically, by just providing them with very easily digestible data, and we're working more and more to serving them the data when they need it, rather than just have it ready for consultation when they realize that they need it, so that we become more and more part of their processes and make their lives easier.
Right. That's quite interesting. Tell me, are they like, where's the markets that which markets do you guys service?
So right now, we're a totally Belgian company, but we're working on our European expansion. So looking at countries like the UK, Netherlands, Germany, France, next up. So, but right now, in terms of banking, we're the market leader in Belgium. We're growing very fast in private equity. So we work with every big banking name that there is in Belgium. Can't mention them all on here contractually, but if you know them, we probably serve them. And then some leading private equity funds starting to break into the Dutch market because there's demand there for Belgian data as well. And then just working on our expansion to ultimately become like the boutique data provider and deal sourcing
Right.
platform in Europe.
Oh, awesome. And tell me, I actually had a look at you guys. Could you possibly elaborate a bit more on I think you guys called it like the product AI led growth toolkit. For I think it's for SaaS, right? If you don't mind, just to elaborate a bit on that.
Um, I'm sorry, product-led toolkit?
Product AI led, like a growth toolkit.
I'm not sure exactly what you mean there.
Sure. Okay. No, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Tell me quickly, and then, from a value standpoint, right? Um, obviously there's some competition out there, right? And well, like you guys mentioned, you guys have taken over the market where you're currently at, but obviously want to broaden into to the likes of, like you mentioned, the UK as well.
Mhm.
So, from a value standpoint, what would you say are like the biggest value that your company basically brings to the table?
Um, so one thing is everything that is published today is available in our platform by 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So that's same day data,
Oh wow.
which is huge for our market. We automatically crunch a lot of the data as well, so you don't just find it cataloged in there, but we'll immediately put it through like our benchmarking of how a company is performing versus others in their market. We can provide those data points as APIs, as API endpoints and stuff as well. So whether you want to use our platform or you want the data in your own platform, we can offer both. Uh, then other things is we're able to deduplicate entrepreneurs, meaning that, for instance, if you were to go to Companies House and you look up someone who has 10 companies,
Yeah.
you'll typically find him 10 times in Companies House. And you'll find him once in OpenTheBox, and you'll see that he owns those 10 companies and that it's the same guy. So we have our matching models to clear all of that up. And
Yeah.
then there's the stuff that we'll be adding on top in the future. Let's say you have, as a fund, you have investment criteria. Basically, we can match investment criteria with data points that we can detect, meaning that as soon as a company meets those criteria, we can let you know, and you can talk to them before, hopefully, before a broker gets involved and creates an auction and makes the entire process less personable. So what that
Right.
means is you're less likely to do a good deal and return value to your lending partners. So those are the things that we, especially with powered then by the fact that we have that same day data, we're just more likely than others to help you be the first in line.
That's good value, man. Geez, I can fully
Yes.
understand why you guys are doing so well.
Yeah.
Can you possibly provide like an example of where a company onboarded you guys, you started to walk a road with them and like a big difference that your services made with their company.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have some cases on our website that I can freely talk about in banking. Brands like ABN AMRO, so big banking clients, report they and other private bankers, wealth bankers, corporate bankers report spending only a quarter of the time that they used to on finding out what they need to know about their client. So imagine preparing for a meeting with their client or an onboarding or whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
what used to take hours at times can now be done in like 30 minutes or less.
Oh wow.
Finding information is also um, we just simplify things a lot with having a profile page where you just have the most important information about the company. And that just saves you. It really comes down to clicks. It's really crazy. It's time to value. It's a bit like Google, right? The faster
Yeah.
you find the answer you're looking for, that search engine will win. So it's kind of similar with OpenTheBox, and that's some impact that we had there. Another private equity client then, um, through their very niche strategy paired with OpenTheBox, they opened 164 deal conversations with acquisition targets in 3 months, when most funds have 60 conversations in a whole year.
Goodness.
So yeah, the impact if you use it correctly is huge.
That's more than 3x, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Tell me, you like you mentioned in the beginning. I mean, you've had a colorful background in the sense of from a SDR business development, then coming over to this, and obviously you're currently the chief of revenue,
yeah,
at the business now. Is there maybe some advice that you would give? We've got quite a younger generation of listeners as well, and then we've got a couple of people that feel like they're stuck in the rut and they want to pivot and and get to that
yeah,
position. Can you perhaps give some advice on what it kind of takes to run your position successfully? If you don't mind to share one or two things.
yeah. I mean, maybe three things I would say is, first of all, really understand your strengths and weaknesses, and figure out which role you would want to take up that maximizes your strengths and allows you to minimize your weaknesses.
Right.
Um, uh, so for me, in my current role, that helps. Uh, I can supplement my weaknesses with team members that are better at a lot of things than I ever will be. Um, but maybe leadership isn't what you're looking for, and you just want to be a really well-paid expert. That's also fine. I mean, you don't need to be in a leadership role to have a good career or make good money. Really be honest with yourself on your strengths and weaknesses. fill out an Excel form or draw it out on a whiteboard or whatever. Like I have
Yeah, yeah.
this kind of spider web of myself in mind where I know like I'm really strong at this, but I'm absolutely terrible at that. So maybe find a role where I don't have to do what I'm terrible at
Right.
more than 10% of the time. That helps. It will help you grow because you'll look a lot better in your day-to-day work.
Yeah.
Uh, um, then uh, be super curious. Um, be curious about, especially if you want to lead, if you want to oversee more than one role, if you want to lead a team or lead an organization or whatever. Um, be curious about more than only your role and understand the bigger picture. If you can get those two things right, I think then you have the ultimate understanding to ultimately grow within that organization. Uh, and third, confidence. Really work on your confidence to go for what you want. Uh, Show your confidence by letting people know what you've done, what your impact has been.
Right, right.
Uh, I think those three things, and they're probably not talked about enough because there's a lot of emphasis on hard skills, on
Yeah,
being some kind of great communicator or playing the corporate game. I didn't play the corporate game at all to get to where I am. Um, I probably rub people up the wrong way a lot of the time. For me, the way to get here was to be extremely direct. But that's a strength of mine again, so that ties back to the first thing.
yeah.
I don't think all of those things actually matter as much if you understand what the bigger picture is, if you are really curious about what everyone else is doing and about how everything clicks together and you're confident, then I think you can. Those are probably traits that I see more in people that actually get ahead in life and in careers and find the stuff that they love doing, more so than the classical advice.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. Yona, I need to thank you for coming on today and was willing to provide your niche expertise and tell us more about what your company does.
My pleasure.
I wish you and the business just all the best going forward, moving from strength to strength. Hopefully, next time I get you on, you guys have taken over the UK as well.
Yeah.
So I need to once again thank you very much. And just lastly, from my side, where can the listeners get a hold of you guys?
I mean, you can always find us at openthebox.com, but feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn if you're interested in the platform or want advice or whatever. You can find me right on LinkedIn. I'm chronically online.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Yonah. All the best.
See you.